to be, right? In coming to be, it can know whatever it is that's coming to be. Because it's unable to receive the whole of being at any one time. And therefore, it approaches things sequentially. Right? But if it turns upon itself, then it can know itself as a whole, and in that respect it receives the whole of being, which is then said, remember what we said a moment ago? By heavens, that's in the being as you see as eternity. Therefore, the simultaneous grasp of all being is to know oneself in respect to one's being. When that, therefore, with the simultaneous grasp of all beings, that's another way of talking about eternity. Right? Because when you know things partially, you're knowing things sequentially, you're breaking them up. Therefore, we can say that if we are here, if all creation started here, ends here, wherever we are in that timetable, right? We know things sequentially, right? And therefore we can see, because we're not able to receive the whole of being, right? Where the whole of being is not simultaneously shown to us, therefore it's parceled to us and we grasp it temporally. Unless you do this, which is also the, this of course is Arjuna's experience of Ishvara in Bhagavad Gita, right? Where he sees time and all of its majesty as and its totality simultaneously as a one. That's the same thing. That's the same thing.
Are you saying there are two ways of functioning? Because I heard you say you're unable to receive the whole of being.
In respect to when it's turned to time and becoming.
Okay, but the simultaneous grasp of all being
is when it turns to itself.
But then how can that be eternity if eternity is in time?
Eternity is not in time, because remember, this is eternity, this is in time. The soul is a mixture of the two.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Right. Right? Mixture of the two.
So then it could have a temporal experience of eternity.
Well, that's what time is. Time is a moving image of eternity. Yeah. Yeah, right. And it receives its power of existing from its being as a seer. Now, let's see if we can go a step further. Right? This is... I'll come later. Good. Here we go.
The soul is not wholly real.
The soul is not whole?
Wholly real. It's not completely real.
One part of it is total, the other part is partial. Yes, both. Right? That's why man can be magnificent in one moment and be a clown the next, right? Right. Yeah, except for my Uncle Louis, who was able to maintain a certain level of existence beginning to end. Please. We normally reverentially bow when we think of Uncle Louis. All right, look at one soul, therefore, right, of the two parts, right? Then Plato says, this then must be broken up, parceled out, be broken up into pieces, and these pieces, therefore, are going to be extended throughout the universe. So he takes one part, and the ratios of them are 1, 2, 4, 8, 3, 3, 9, 27. And then between each two intervals, he puts two analogies, two proportions, arithmetic and geometric, and therefore he can then take this one, and he bends them together, fastens them together, right? And then this is called the same, and that's called the other. And then along the one, it's at a certain angle, which therefore, all of these listings therefore allow us to put the position of the planets, and he allows that. These are also the musical intervals of the Greek diatonic scale, as you know. And I just want to mention that in passing because I want to move on to something more interesting, right? So that means then that built into the soul is number, ratios, measure, analogy, proportion, because then the soul then is extended throughout the universe, and since it's extended throughout the universe as a whole, he then makes the statement that the soul, soul cannot exist without body, and in soul there has to be reason, and therefore in the creation of this universe he's going to have something then that extends throughout the entire universe, spread out through everything. It has reason within it, soul encompasses it, and can take on a bodily form wherever it's required. Right? Those are, yeah.
I was reading that the other day, and he says he constructed reason within soul and soul within body, and that's the word nous.
And that's the word what?
It's nous in the Greek.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm used to that translated as intellect. Reason threw me off. I thought reason was dianoia.
Well, dianoia is usually translated as understanding. Through nous, through dianoia, through understanding. But you're quite right. This is not This is not in the sense of rationality. It's in the highest sense of reason. In that respect, it takes on the word intellect, really. But so remember, there are two parts of the soul. There's the higher and the other. Therefore, one part there's nous, and the other part there's opinion. But we'll move into that in a moment, all right? Okay. Then, based therefore in the universe, right, necessarily therefore the soul must inherently have the capability, since it's generated this way, for number, ratio, measure, analogy, and proportion. Yeah, go ahead.
When does the soul decide that it needs to take on a body? When is that called for or appropriate?
Well, this is really a nice question. This is kind of they could sometimes call the study of the soul or eschatology. Because the soul has the two parts, one in time and one not, right? Therefore, and it views